So welcome everyone. People are still arriving, so we will take a moment. Some names that I recognize, which is pretty cool. Good to see you all. Particularly the guys who I'm going to interview. I'm glad that I recognize you there in the audience. When the heart starts to pound a little bit. We're going to give a moment for other people to arrive. So tell you what, could you pop into chat where it is that you are in the world? Where are you dialing in from? That's a pretty cool thing for me to know. That'll be good. So we've got Cardiff, the French Alps. Ben, I remember jealous last time you told me that. Tucson, Arthur, yeah, cool. Suffolk, I never know where you are, Mike.
Neither do I.
These guys' questions, try and find out where you were. Got the Midlands. Which part of the Midlands? I'm in the Midlands. Spain. Oh, Marbella. Stop it, Claire. Stop it. Toronto. Real international mix. I am going to be using chat quite a lot. So if I'll be asking you questions, if you can pop stuff into there, that'll be good. Certainly the first part anyway. When I get to the interview part, again, if there's questions you think I should be asking, please fire them in. And if there's general stuff that you'd like to understand, again, pop them into chat. I will keep an eye on that. So will Donna. Donna's helping with that. She's facilitating that, getting the right speakers on at the right time, and having the right people in the spotlight. I do have to say, though, it's Donna's birthday today. This is her birthday treat. She gets to facilitate book launches, and I've already done 3 webinars. So can you put a little happy birthday in chat to Donna? Or if you know how to use the reactions, if you know how to use the button at the bottom, give her a little party popper thing or a cake or a smile or something along those lines, just to make her hate me less. Because she gets some birthday.
Thank you.
Ben's giving a cake. That's nice. So yeah, I'm going to crack on because the format for this is that the reason I've invited the guests I have is that for me, they are top of their game when it comes to certain parts of the Evolve model that the book covers. So I just want to take you through why the book and what the Evolve model is. And then I will start to get the really interesting guys on, and we'll start to go in a bit of depth about how we can start to take this and start to apply it. But just before I go on, could I just ask you another question quickly into chat? What is your favorite dinosaur? You pop what your favorite dinosaur is into chat. There's a bit of an odd assumption here that one has a favorite dinosaur. Boris Johnson. Right, okay, T-Rex. I think the people who put T-Rex are the ones that can't be bothered to type usually. Pterodactyl, yeah, people show off who put that. Okay, so it'll start to make sense why I've asked you about the favorite dinosaur. So let me just introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Fred Copestake. I don't think I'm a dinosaur. I certainly hope not. I've been around a bit though, certainly from a training point of view. 22 years, been around the world 14 times, worked in 36 countries, trained over 10,000 salespeople. That's a real privilege to do that sort of stuff. And what I've been able to do while I've been doing that is to spot some of the challenges that salespeople face. And I try to group these really broadly. And this is why I wrote my first book, Selling Through Partnering Skills. It was to address these challenges. Things that I'm seeing salespeople having to contend with are the challenges that I class as busy, oldie worldy, and muddled mindset. Busy is this running around, being really active, doing loads and loads of stuff, but not actually getting any results for it because it's ineffective. The oldie worldy stuff is to do with using things that just don't work anymore. They're just rubbish. So and they can wind customers up. They can actually be a bit destructive. And then the muddled mindset comes from the fact that salespeople have been told to be consultative, told to be customer focused, told to help people with this, but also told to go out and sell stuff. So it's like, am I consultative? Am I transactional? Don't know. So that's what book 1 was about. Like I say, is to help people deal with this. So it's by helping them become more effective, it's to help them get more up to date, and it's to help them just be more aligned to the stuff that really works. So that's what was going on there. And I wrote that, came out in 2020, happy days, things are going to be good, got something to work around. And of course, stuff happened. Yeah. I'm all about getting good salespeople to do things in a good way, but things happened so that we've got to help them to do things to deal with some of the changes that have taken place. Because with the evolution of sales that we see, we knew some stuff was going to happen, but some stuff happened quicker. It was like somebody pressed this fast forward button on the world of selling. And so we need to deal with this. We need to adapt. Yeah, we need to evolve. We know that it's not the fittest, it's not the smartest, but it's those who can adapt that are going to survive. And now that might sound a little bit sensationalist, but I have a feeling that some salespeople will cease to exist because they won't be relevant. They won't be doing things that are interesting to their customers. So my job, and my colleagues who we're going to talk about in a little bit, is to help people do this. So that's why I got into writing hybrid selling quite quickly after the first book. It was 3 months. I sat down and did it to be as responsive to these changes that we start to see. Because the changes that this now helps us deal with are the challenge, or sort of the challenges we see people we have to deal with are to do with change. So 3 broad areas: customer change, climate change, sales climate change, and change itself changing. A bit of a mindset thing here, but let's have a think about these. Customers we can see are being more advanced. So they're further down the buying cycle than ever before. They've already started to solve their own problems. They've started to work things out. There's more information out there. And this gives a challenge to salespeople. Customers are also more biased. They're more biased to the things that they like. So I could say this is also like more demanding because they've got higher expectations. They know what it is they're trying to achieve. And so as salespeople, we've got to get up to this level. They're in control. They're really powerful. However, there is a bit of a paradox because customers are also more confused than ever, because we live in a VUCA world. So VUCA, this military model, or old military model, which now applies very much to the commercial world, helps us realize that we're on this state of confusion. VUCA: volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. That is what our customers are facing. Salesperson, we can very much help them with this. There's a good opportunity to set ourselves apart as salespeople. The climate, the sales climate changing, is to do with the type of sale, the techniques, the technology. There are so many different ways which we can go about selling. So many different ways, different sales models. One extreme, we've got SDRs setting up appointments for AEs. Other end, we've got full cycle salespeople, key account managers. We've got classic selling, consultative selling, value-based selling, enterprise selling, strategic selling. Different types of sale, different things which salesperson can get quite confused with the best way to do something. Get so many different techniques thrown at them, which can become, again, difficult to work out what is the best way to operate, what's going to work for a customer and them. And of course, the technology, the advancements in that is huge. I think that there's now 8,000 different platforms, 8,000 different pieces of kit a salesperson can use to help them with their job. Crazy stuff that we need to be helping people get clear about the best way to operate. And then change itself. Now, change is a challenge. And by this, I'd break it into the sense of change, the stance people have for change, and the speed with which they can adapt to change. So the sense of change is to what degree do people realize that change is happening? The old analogy for this is the boiling frog. Throw a frog in boiling water, it jumps out. Put a frog in cold water, gently heat it up, get it to boiling point. The frog doesn't realize it boils to death. Horrible analogy, but one which we just works for helping us think about what's going on. This stuff is changing and we might not be aware of it. When we are, then there's the stance we take on change. Are we initiators? Are we people who like change? Do we get stuck into it? Do we like the opportunity? Do we want to work with it? Are we resistors? Do we push back? Is it something we don't like? Or is it something which we will adapt to, so somewhere between those two different ends of the spectrum? The speed of change, this for me is about how fast things are evolving. It is going super, super quick. And if we're not careful, there is a distinct opportunity that salespeople are going to miss the bus. They're not on the bus, they aren't going to be relevant, there isn't a place for them because they're adding no value, they're doing nothing for themselves, their customers, their own company. So we can help them with this, we can help them adapt to it. That's what the book's all about. And we help them align. So they can align themselves with customers, they can make sure they're in the right place within the buying cycle and taking them and guiding them through that. They can balance their approach to do the things which are going to make a difference, and they can use this understanding of VUCA and how to deal with it to help customers be less confused. They can transform their sale to something that works. They can tailor their techniques into a way that really makes sense, and they can take control of the technology. Don't let it control themselves, but they use it as the support that it's intended to be. So they need to be more savvy about change, to think about, okay, so how is this affecting me? And then we want to have a smooth transition, and salespeople should be slick. Yes, I said that. Salespeople should be slick. What an odd word to pick about salespeople, because yes, it has so many negative connotations. I looked some up. I looked these up, and what do we have when we see slickness? Hanky-panky, hocus-pocus, jiggery-pokery, skullduggery, and trickery. Right, the book is not about that and how to use that in sales. It also means clever. And so the way I would like people to think about this is that we're sat in the back of a limousine. This limousine, a Maybach. Maybachs are different, like this, ultra luxurious. But when these things take off, they take off really smoothly, but they go fast. That's slick. That's how I mean slick. And that's what the book is designed to help people get their head around this. Let me just ask a quick question. Do you like crisps? Do you like crisps? Let's pop a little yes or no in there. Do we like crisps? Potato chips for my friends across the pond. No, that's the first no I've had all day. I've asked this question 3 times already. I love them. Who doesn't? Well, Claire doesn't get it, clearly. Oh no, my next question is what flavor? And people who want prawn cocktail aren't really invited anymore. But I can't say that because I know that my co-host does. So I'll cut some slack in that case. Cheese and onion. Now the cheese and onion fans, I am with you. Right, cheese and onion crisps. Well, I've not lost the plot. Cheese and onion crisps. For me, when we think about bag of cheese and onion crisps, this is important because people grow onions, people make cheese. Then somebody sells that. They sell it to a flavor manufacturer. That's a complex process that somebody then goes, sells the flavors to the crisp manufacturer, who then manufacture crisps with machines which somebody sold. Somebody sold them the logistics, the trucks, the kit, the IT that's going into running the whole process, the factories, the operation. So it then goes, they sell the crisps to the supermarket, to the seller. In the supermarket, there's shelves, there's stack. Somebody sold that. This more traditional type of full cycle selling, I get a little worried about them being left behind. This is why I've written the book. I'm worried about these guys not getting the attention that a lot of the SaaS and some of the more sexy inverted commas stuff going on. And that's who I really want to make sure they're able to take a full-on approach that is needed to be modern. So another analogy I use with this is like playing a drum. If you're only playing one drum, if you're just tapping away, that might have been good enough in the past. It's not good enough going forward. We need to equip people with a full drum kit, a full set of skills to be able to make them relevant. Again, that's what the book's all about. Yeah. I've not even put any links in, have I? What a rubbish salesperson I am. I shouldn't even be running sales courses if I can't sell my own book, which is on offer today. 99p, 99 cents. Donna, could you just pop those links in, please? Otherwise, people won't listen to me anymore. What are you going to get in the book? Okay, if that's not convinced you so far, what are you going to get in the book? Well, the book, you'll get introduced to Harry and Larry. 3 parts of the book. First part is a story. Harry and Larry, 2 sales guys. They've got to deal with this change that's going on. How do they get through this period where their lives are turned upside down? Well, read the story, find out. But basically, they invent the evolve model. The evolve model are the elements of sales which I believe that salespeople will need to be accomplished in to be successful in the future. This involves, and this is why I'm inviting these guys to come and talk to me about this, the essentials. The essentials, this is about taking the evolution of sales, the bits that work, keeping those, binning the bits that don't. Having a good solid basis. This is your foundations. Without good foundations, it's like building a house on sand. So for me, value framework, that's what I talk about in book 1. That's for me the essentials. That's solid. We've got to have good virtual selling skills using video, live, sent, synchronous, asynchronous, bringing in social selling elements, using those tools that I've talked about there to assist salespeople. Tyler's going to help us understand some of this. Opportunity management, information. Information is key. We need to really be understanding the stuff that we know, but also accepting the stuff we don't know, doing something about that. A lot of this is to do with decision-making units, the stakeholders, the people, the influencers that are involved, and how we can build a mutual action plan to help them with that. Claire's going to talk to us about this as well. We want to lead people. Again, not an 80s slick, tricky dicky type salesperson, but a servant leader, someone who can guide, understanding buying process, helping people with buying process, taking VUCA on, helping them understand how to do that, advancing the sale. James is going to help us understand that. Understanding value. What is it? Well, we don't know. It's a mystery. That's a phrase I nick from Mike. He's going to help us understand that and what the challenges are and how we can generate insight and do something to help with this. And then we're going to talk about how we expand the sale, how we can use customer success management principles, how we can understand account management tools, and how we can look after ourselves, be in the best position. It's a hell of a lot in the book. The guy who wrote the foreword said, Fred, this is a bit overwhelming, but I guess that's the point. Yes, it is. There is a lot that salespeople need to get their heads around to be successful in the future.